Going for a 4-4-2.
He didn't know what was going on in the room.
Elias managed to refrain from swearing.
He said, if you've got a problem with me, let's sort it out in the gym.
He's actually defending well. The thing is...
Come on! Where has that come from?
Yeah.
They brought through the door. You know, look at the...
What a performance. What, you know, the guys...
That was ruled off. Quite stupid things like that.
Live from Style Space at the Supporters Club. Right.
But he was getting a bit tired, I thought.
Come on! Here we go! Come on! Come on! Yeah! Go!
Welcome back to West Ham and United. You've just witnessed West Ham be beaten 1-0 at Old Trafford by Manchester United. I am, of course, Anton. I'm joined by the two negative Nancy, Stell and Matt. Stell, straight over to you, mate. Give me your brief thoughts on the game before we start dissecting it. How are you feeling?
Disappointed and disappointing. And not disappointed at the players on the pitch, more disappointed at David Moyes' tactics. As Matt will say, you know, and he's absolutely right, every 6 or 7 games or so he gets it wrong, and he got it wrong tonight. And I'm not talking about, you know, us going out and trying to be gung-ho against Man United. I'm talking about the way we set ourselves up. We set ourselves, you know, Moyes respects these teams far too much, and we always pay the price. Every time he sets us up to go out and keep a clean sheet against a team like this, it just doesn't work. So disappointed at the result, disappointing at the way we set ourselves up.
Well, puts me straight into the first question then, Matt. Were you happy with West Ham's starting 11 tonight?
No. Yeah, it's weird because I think he got like 1 or 2 players wrong. I think he gave him that slight, like, honestly, for me, if Noble wasn't in that team and he started Ben Rama, I'd have probably said nothing against it. I'd have gone, you know what, he's gone 5 at the back, 2 holding midfielders, and he's gone 3 attacking players. But I just made the point just on the end of the watch along. This season, we still haven't won a game when Rice, Souček and Noble have started together. We just don't. Like, it's so negative. It's not a problem playing 5 at the back. We play 5 at the back and we've done quite well this year. Playing a 5-2-3 with 2 wide guys off of Antonio. But, I mean, I don't know if this was because of the injuries and he felt forced to like mould the team based around what he had available. But it was like, what you said, it was like a 5-3-1-1.
There was a stage, mate, where we had looked like we had 4 centre-backs.
Yeah,
and then Sofal and Johnson joining them. That's what it looked like.
It was like 6 at the back, 3 in the midfield, and 1 up front. Like there was no real structure to the team. Like, it was weird. It was like Moyes didn't want any space. Anytime someone went forward from either fullback position, Rice dropped into the back 4 to still make it a 4 at the back, and like Diop was filling in at right back. There was no one around Antonio. Antonio kept coming deeper and deeper to get on the ball. I mean, look, summing up, we had no shots on target. It's defensively, don't get me wrong, defensively, which is what David Moyes is known for, we were very solid. They had some big chances, probably 4 or 5 of them, but they were the only chances they really had. They didn't have half chances. They didn't have easy saves.
Well, I'll tell you what, though, Matt, you've literally just reviewed the game in 1 minute flat.
That's it.
But listen, I know, but we need to dissect the game a little bit. Manchester United's lineup, the 11 they put out, I mean, they were there for the taking still today, weren't they, really?
Matt and I were talking about their defence before the game. Lindelof, Maguire, Wan-Bissaka and Shaw. And Matt was right. He said that's a defence that could be got at. And then we looked at our attacking players, and we went, oh, well, we actually need some attacking players to get at them. That was the disappointing thing about this. Maguire, I mean, he's a donkey. How he makes the England team is beyond me. How he got sold for £80 odd million to to play for Man United is beyond me. And yet, as Matt said, he had an easy night tonight, you know, because we didn't have anything to attack him with. You know, Lindelof Lindelof wouldn't make our team. Lindelof wouldn't make West Ham's team. You know, I think the only player out of those four in their defensive lineup may be Shaw. I like Shaw. You know, you could see Shaw improving our back line, but the others, you know, they were for the taking. But then when you have Bowen and Antonio up front, you know, 2 against 4, you're not gonna give them as much of a problem as you like to think. So it was a shit team, and yet we made them look good because we didn't give them anything to worry about.
Let's dissect the first half really, and we'll do it really in a nutshell when it comes to the first half. You've got let me just turn this off. For some reason, it's coming on feedback. You've got Manchester United that had really 2 clear-cut chances. You had a Rashford header and you had a Greenwood opportunity where he drove into the box. Fabianski at full stretch, tipped the ball onto the post. At the end of the first half, Manchester United had 8 attempts at goal, only 2 on target. West Ham had zilch on attempts at goal. So really, if we're looking at the first half in general, before we even move on to the second half, Matt, it really was a game of just defending. And we were defending and we were holding them back. And they couldn't penetrate West Ham at that point. Talk to me a bit further about that.
Well, I said at half time it was literally a training ground game, wasn't it? Defence versus attack. Put everyone behind the ball and let the opposition try and break you down. Which, yeah, Moyes assessed their recent games and had done exactly that. He'd said,
he's gone. He's gone, isn't he?
Yeah. He said, you know, he's throwing me off now. Yeah. Moyes assessed their previous games, like, you know, Crystal Palace, West Brom, they can't break teams down. We're going to do that. So the first half, defensively, look, I can't knock the defensive shape all the way back. I know we lost, but we scored their own goal. Defensively, they didn't trouble us too much. Like I said, they had 8 shots, but only had 2 clear chances. But the problem is that we offered nothing. We had no shots. We offered nothing. I said, they had the deck chairs out on halfway line, Maguire and Lindelof. They had the sombrero out and they had like a Mai Tai in the hand or something. They weren't bothered in the slightest.
There were 2 incidences in the first half which kind of kept us in the game. There was the glaringly missed opportunity by Rashford. You know, that was on his day, Rashford would have headed that in, no problem. And then there was a great save by Fabianski, which kind of kept us in the game as well. So, had it not been for that, was there anything else in the first half that you saw that would have made you think, you know, we're in for an onslaught here?
No, as I said, defensively, I was quite comfortable. Like we were making them hard. We were being hard to break down. We were making them really work to try and get anything, do anything. But Moyes sacrificed any attacking intent to break up their attacking play. He sacrificed all our attacking intent in that first half to negate Man United's ability to attack. That was the problem. We could all see it coming. We all sat there and gone, you know what? It's only going to be a matter of time. We can't hold this out for 90 minutes. And actually saying that, we technically did because we gave them the goal.
Yeah.
But at the end of the first half, I was sitting there thinking, you know what? Defensively, we've not done bad, but we've offered very, very little. I think we had a couple of half counter attacks that just didn't pay off in the end. But
Luke's comment here, don't think to be too harsh on them tonight. It's not. I don't think the players are to blame. It's like you said, we actually defended really well today, and we tried to make as good as we could with what we had in terms of our attack. But as you said, mate, no shots on target in the first half, no shots on target in the whole game. No. You know, but we went in at half time. You know, and I said this to you probably before the game. I can't remember, or just at the start of the game. I said this to you: if Moyes gets us to half time at 0-0. Would he consider that job half done? Yeah. Because he wasn't intending on changing it, was he?
No. I said to you, look, he was hamstrung in some ways by the fact that we have had a couple of injuries to attacking players, a couple of knocks, Lingard unavailable. So he, the 2 subs he made in the second half were the only subs he could make. He didn't want to make them too early. I reckon Moyes' game plan was get to about 60, 70 minutes at 0-0, then bring those 2 subs on that he made and have a go. His game plan got thrown out the window when we scored no goal, like 8 minutes into the second half. But no, I don't think he had any intention of bringing them on at half time. I reckon he went in half time and went, we've done well. We kept containing for 45 minutes.
And I think that's the problem, though, isn't it, mate? So we got through the first half. They didn't show, they missed a sitter. Fabianski kept us into the game. We went in at half time, and we knew there were going to be no changes at half time, didn't we? We knew that when the team were coming out, we weren't even surprised, were we, that Moyes didn't make, because as you said, he would have made a change if it was still 0-0. I think we were asked the question by Mandy. If we were still 0-0 at 80 minutes, what changes would he have made? And I think you're right. I think he would have just brought Ben Rama on for the last 7, 8, 9 minutes.
Yeah.
And that would have been it. So he did go out. Correct me if I'm wrong. He didn't go out looking to counter attack because we weren't set up in the right way, and he didn't go out looking to win the game. He went out to get a 0-0, didn't he?
Oh yeah, he set up for a point. He set up.
Yeah.
He literally left 2 guys up front and then everyone else essentially behind the ball and said, we're going to try and counter it. The thing is, right, that plan would have worked better had he said to Bowen, no, go play down the middle with Antonio.
Yeah.
So when the ball got cleared to Antonio,
he got
someone with him. And then you could be like, well, at least we're, but Bowen was sort of playing out on the right-hand side. We had no left mid.
And actually, they were both playing quite wide. So when the ball went out, it was going, and there was no one in the middle.
It was like a low block with 2 banks of 5. Like almost Antonio on one side, Bowen on the other, with the 3 centre mids. And the second half, we basically played that. And obviously, then we got forced into the changes. Well, and I say Moyes got forced into it once they scored. He was like, oh no, we've conceded. The plan A's gone, plan B now.
Plan A's gone. Yeah. Bonnie, you made a comment here. Did we lose to Sheffield United or Man United? Bit of perspective. It's mate, I think... Go on, Matt.
The perspective for me is that if Man United were full strength, I wouldn't be saying anything. Right?
Yeah.
It's the amount of their key attacking players they were missing, and we didn't have a shot on target, right? As I've said a couple of times, I can list off. It was Juan Mata, Van de Beek, Pogba. We saw what Pogba done in the first game, in the 3-1 at London Stadium. The ball might have gone out for the throw-in, but he still put that ball in the top corner for 25 yards. Martial was missing. Cavani was missing. Notice they didn't make a single sub in the entire game.
As you said, because they didn't have anything on the bench.
No. Yeah. So it's not that I was just Man United, Sheffield United get perspective, and yes, it's little old West Ham, and look, we're going to Man United, and we're annoyed that we lost. I'm not annoyed that we lost. I'm annoyed that we didn't have a go.
Yeah,
that's what annoyed me. Like you said, if we come here and we lost 1-0, and we'd had a few shots, and we've just missed it. It's just gone a yard wide, or just the only opportunity in 90 minutes I can remember us actually having was that Bowen header when he put it wide and he was offside.
Yeah. And here's an interesting point from Mark. In the first half, we only had 3 touches in their 18-yard box.
Yeah.
And Anthos, same as the cup game against the Manx, didn't learn a thing. So we came out in the second half, mate. As you said, we're all set to continue containing. We were virtually playing 6 at the back, corner ball, and then Mr. Reliable of players of all players gave them.
Well, if I remember, I think they overloaded the near post with players, Man United. And I know to begin with, I think like McTominay went on front of celebrating. I don't know how he was trying to blag that goal because it didn't even touch him. But McTominay, because McTominay's jumped up and Dawson's under pressure from behind from Maguire, I don't know if Dawson didn't think he was going to get the ball. I think he took his eye off it thinking, he's won, McTominay's won it. And not really looking, he stooped down and stuck it in the bottom corner.
It was unfortunate. Right? It was unfortunate. Would they have scored? Well, I think the answer is obvious. They wouldn't have scored had we not given them a goal.
No. That's what I'm saying. That's why I said the defensive standpoint, he got his plan right. You know, we played the 5 at the back, we played low, didn't give them space in behind, forced them to go out wide and put crosses in. That plan worked. But then he didn't have any option going forward. And then they scored, and all of a sudden Moyes went, plan A's out the window. I'm going to have to go and attack them.
And when we brought Benrahma and Lanzini on, we kind of we improved a little bit, but again we still didn't
bits of spells.
Yeah, little bits of spells, but nothing to, I think, really give us the confidence that we were going to get back in. We didn't look like we were going to.
We had a couple of half chances that weren't actual chances, where it was like the final ball, or I mean, the one that comes to my mind is the Souček one when Benrahma done well when he got to the byline, he played it in, and like Lanzini played a clever back heel, and it come to Souček, and he just couldn't get there fast enough, and they got the block on. But it's a half chance. You know, it's blocked. It didn't even travel like a yard before it got blocked, so you have no idea what was going to happen with it.
Mm-hmm.
But once they came on, it then played into Man United's game, and this is why I can see what Moyes done to begin with, because once we took off Noble and Johnson, went to the 4-2-3-1 with the attacking intent, the game opened up. The game became wide open.
And that's an interesting point, though, mate, because people were saying in during the watch along, this is what you would have got if you'd have started off like this. You know, Man United would have found spaces and would have got at you, etc., etc. Now, my argument again is quite simple. You know, if we'd started with at least, you know, another attack-minded player on, I think that wouldn't have given them enough space to, you know, to you know, because what would have happened was, to me, that attacking player, you know, had it been Benrahma or whatever, would have got the feel of the game. And when we did get breaks, we would have given them more to worry about. As you pointed out, we didn't have one shot on target, you know, so we could have given them something a bit more to worry about. Whereas when we went 1-0 down, your attack-minded players come on, and it's a completely different mentality, isn't it? You know, of course,
the game.
Exactly. And if that means there's going to be more space created.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Because we're not. Once we went one behind, took off Noble and Johnson, went to the 4 at the back, the 2 in front, and the 3 attacking players behind Antonio. On the basis of we've now got to go and attack them. Had we not played Noble from the start, because he's the guy I'm going to pick on, not because it's Noble, but because of the role he had within that midfield. Because if you drop one of them, it's going to be Noble, because you're not going to drop Russell Souček. If you dropped him and played Benrahma on the left wing, so you had your 5, kept the 5 at the back with Johnson, had Rice and Souček in front of the back 5 or back 3 with the 2 wing backs, and you had them 3 as a front 3, and said to them, "Go attack. Don't worry about the rest of it. We've got 7 guys behind the ball." All of a sudden, the fullbacks Man United can't bowl on as much because they've got to worry about the 2 guys that are wingers that are attacking, and then you've got that compact 5 at the back and the 2 to go and break down, and you can counter attack. It wasn't about going 3-4-3 all out attack, guns blazing. It was just little bits, little tinkering of the system and the players on the pitch, so that while you had that solid back 5, you had something to attack, because we didn't. And then obviously once we were 1-0 down, he made the big gamble, went back to the back 4 and played the wide open football just to try and get back in the game, because he knew he had to offer something. He had to bring Man United out then to try and get in behind to create the space. Because once they went in front of Man United, they did what we did. They went, you know what?
Hold on to the ball. Don't need to go anywhere.
It's not our job to go and chase the game anymore. You've got to come out, and now we're going in behind you.
It's a point here from James. Yeah, I was actually happy. James is saying I was actually happy with Moyes' setup. A draw would have been a fantastic result. We're 5th, not 15th. A draw would have been a fantastic result, but we didn't get that.
No, you know, I said, just that one change in the tiniest change in the formation, rather than making it a 3-5-1-1. If he'd have gone 3-4-3 or it was like 5-2-3, or that becomes a 5-4-1 when you're defending with Benrahma and Bowen on either wing with Antonio, that offered you something.
And this is the thing. This is the point I think we're trying to get across. We're not talking about opening ourselves up defensively there, James. You could have kept the back 5. It's about what you've got further ahead, and I think that's the issue I think I had tonight. It's more about, you know, when we got the ball, we had no outlet. And this reminded me of early Moyes when he first came back to us. Completely different kettle of fish at that time, because we were fighting relegation, and you understand, as frustrating as it was, you understand it, because what you're trying to do is you're trying to stop conceding goals, and we were conceding bucket loads of goals. So this is quite different. This isn't about opening up the defence. You could have kept your back five, but as Matt said, further up front, rather than Antonio being on his own, which is what we had when we were fighting relegation. If Benrahma was there, he would have helped him with an outlet, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing that we're saying. You know, we're not saying about changing it completely. Just as you said, it's just fine margins. Kieran, if you set up like Big Sam, you don't deserve anything. Did we set up like a Sam Allardyce team tonight?
Yeah, we did. 100% did. We went for his tactics and everything. You know, it was play up to Antonio, trying to get him to hold the ball, nick a free kick, and then try and play the set pieces. But I mean, we're doing well from set pieces, and I'm not arguing against that, because that's probably the best way to play against Man United.
Gives us an out. Yeah.
I'm just arguing that we set up to play it, and it didn't play the players to play it. You know, there was no need to play Noble in the middle of that midfield with Rice and Souček. I keep saying Benrahma, but even Lanzini or friggin' Udabika, I don't know,
anyone,
attacking player. So you had the three as an attack to go and do something, rather than just go in. We're going to put Rice into the back four to make it a back six. Yeah, we're going to play four centre backs. We're going to drop Rice in, then we're going to play the two wide players in front of them, making it a back six.
And this is
and Rice in front, and then just leave Antonio up front on his own.
This is the thing I think we're all saying is nothing wrong with being defensive minded. And absolutely right. You know, you concede less goals, you keep clean sheets and all that sort of stuff. It's more about what we were doing further up front. English Yardie, Matt well said, if we lose, we lose. Stop bending over for the top six. This loss is on Moyes. You know, and I think a lot of fans are going to be thinking the same. And it's so difficult though, isn't it, Matt? Because we have played so well this season. We are where we're at, you know, for performances like this, but it just makes you wonder, doesn't it? I mean, no chance. I mean, we can't talk about what we did in the game apart from defending. We didn't do apart from defending.
I said, I've got two things you can say. I said they had that chance for Souček when I said it, but Benrahma got beyond McTominay and he cut it back into the box, and Lanzini done that weird, clever flick back heel. Souček got closed down, the shot got blocked. There's that, and there's the Bowen header when he was offside. Two chances in the second half that weren't even chances, because one's offside and one got blocked before the ball went anywhere. That's it. That's all we got. And maybe you can moan about, I don't know, we should have had a corner last second of the game, and if that had been down the other end, if we'd have been 1-0 up and that was down the other end, Man United got that corner.
Yeah.
You know, and then Rashford should have been sent off.
Is there anything else in the game that we can highlight? I mean,
no, we didn't do anything. This is the point I'm trying to get across.
Fabianski was our man of the match, wasn't it?
Oh yeah,
wasn't he?
Because he made a couple of good saves. Yeah. But this point I'm trying to make, we can't. I'm not moaning. You can't moan at the players on the pitch because they can only go out and do what they're asked to do. Right? You can't moan about how we defended because although they had a couple of big chances, they didn't. That was all they had, and they had a couple more big chances really when we started pushing out and they could pick us on the counter.
Creating space. Yeah.
So defensively we were good, but we sacrificed any attacking intent to contain that, and then once we didn't contain it, it was like, we got nothing going the other way.
Mark Collins makes a good point here. If Moyes can have the plaudits when we play well, he has to take the criticism when it's going wrong. He doesn't need telling. Benny should have started. Benny should have started.
Yeah, I'd have started him as a Noble and put him on the wing.
Yeah. I don't know what other highlight we can give. Two great saves from Fabianski, one in each half.
One he tipped onto the post, didn't he?
Yeah, tipped on the post. Clear miss, open goal from Man United. They should have been 1-0 up by half time by Rashford. In a way, in a weird sort of way, if that had actually gone in rather than Rashford really scuffing it, it may have made Moyes change things right from half time. You know, rather than waiting until the goal. You know, until 60 odd minutes or whatever it was. But anyway, Mandy, what did Moyes do second half? Because Johnson went right wing back. Did he put Bowen left wing? No, he didn't.
No, he went back
That's
to like
interesting. That was a talking point, wasn't it? He actually changed it to.
Formation.
It looked as if he went to a 4-2-3-1.
Yeah, and he tried to play Johnson in front of Soufal like we done against Villa and Bowen out on the left.
What did you make of that?
That it was the right sort of change, but he got it like I would have played because Bowen doesn't like being on the left, does he?
Yeah.
So if they were going to do that, I would have gone for the 4-2-3-1 and put Johnson in front of Creswell.
Yeah.
And Bowen on the other side. But he did try something. He changed the formation. He didn't change the players. He changed the formation. And it sort of worked.
Did it?
I say sort of.
Did we see anything different?
No, it just made Man United have to think again about different ways of playing.
Yeah.
But
did it nullify them any more than what he did in the first half? I'm confused.
No, it made him rethink, didn't it? Because it didn't create us anymore. It didn't stop them creating anymore. Like it just didn't really.
It kind of felt like. Did it? I hate to ask this, but did it feel like a bit of a token gesture to try and put a bit more attack-minded prowess on the team?
He's got to change something at half-time. All right, then.
Because what he essentially did was he kind of pushed Johnson further forward, didn't he?
Yeah.
By putting him.
Went to the back four.
So if that was his intent, why not have just changed it and put Ben Rama on?
I don't know if we didn't want to like. I don't know. Like it's almost like didn't want to punish like Johnson. Like, oh, you're coming off at half time. I haven't done anything wrong, yeah, but you're coming off.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. It didn't seem to do much.
It might have worked better, but Johnson isn't as quick as Fredericks.
Yeah. Mark Thorne, you can defend well without being defensive. Today was not the game for setting out for a draw.
No.
Agreed. Bonnie, mate, please don't get us wrong. We are not, we think that Moyes got it wrong today, but we applaud Moyes for what he's done throughout the season.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Look at the 18 months he's been here. He's been phenomenal.
But you cannot deny
that previous comment. When he gets it right, he gets applaudits. When he gets it wrong, he has to take the criticism.
He's got to take
and
the criticism.
He did get it wrong today.
Yeah. Backlav, I hope you're well, mate. West Ham need another runner in front to sub Antonio.
Yep.
Kuchka is not bad. We're talking transfers already. Just watch the game against Rangers. We'll look out for that, mate. I don't know what else to say. Good evening, Foe. I have to say I was disappointed with the lineup. However, the Lingard ineligible and Fornal's injured. Moyes reverted to type and lined up defensively. Yeah. Oh, well, on to the next game. Yeah.
That's what I said. I think if they were available, he probably wouldn't have played that way.
Yeah.
But he, as I said, Moyes, in some ways, Moyes played with the hand he was dealt. Because I said, look, he only had them two subs. And if he started them from the start and it didn't work out, he had nothing to change it with, did he? But it didn't work out, and then the subs didn't really matter. Chasing a game, it's always harder to chase the game when the team isn't. If Man United started sitting deep, trying to see the game out, and we made them changes, you might have seen something. But Man United were quite happy to go. You know what? No, we're just going to play our normal game and counter you with the space you're going to make chasing the game.
Yeah.
If we'd have started with one of them, either one instead of Noble, just to give us something else going forward, it might have been different. But it's if buts, ands and maybes.
Yeah.
We're top 5. I mean,
Bonnie's still having a go at us. But for a lucky goal, Moyes is a genius tonight. And then he said fickle fans. I disagree, mate. I really do. We're not fickle fans at all. I think you'll see an awful lot of people are saying much the same thing. We're not talking about, Moyes being a bad manager. We're not talking about Moyes having got it wrong all season. We're talking about tonight. The one thing that confuses me, Moyes was asked in his post-match interview in hindsight, would you have done anything different? His answer was straight no. There you go. His answer was straight no. Bonnie, it's not about being fickle. It's about seeing what you see. And he's done it against these so-called top teams every single time. He goes out almost with the notion that we can't win the game. So what we'll do is we'll defend. And as I was saying,
and then try and
sit in and try and maybe nick something. But we didn't even have that. And that is the bit that we're talking about, Bonnie. We didn't have anything to hit them on the counter attack with.
No.
Great that we defended well. We defended wonderfully well. But then when we did get the ball, there was nothing to counter with.
Because
And
he had
that's
so
the
many
bit that we
defensive
would-
players on the pitch.
Yeah. And I was asking Matt in the first half, I was asking you, I was like, is Declan playing centre back?
Yeah.
Because he was slotting into a back four with two
Back
bloody
five
wing backs.
to make
Back
it a back
six. Yeah.
Right.
English Yardie. Even Gary Neville was pissed with our lineup. He was confused. He himself knows Man United's not a good enough squad.
They've got a good squad, but as I kept saying, all their big game players were out. So, like the Liverpool game, that many injuries, have a go. No Pogba, no Cavani, no Martial. Like, it was just have a go. I'm not even saying, like I said, keep the back five, just one more attacking player, so you can do.
That's
something.
all it needed. That's really what we're talking about, isn't it? It was about the tactics used. It was about, and with no disrespect to Noble, if we'd had a player in there that was, it's like you said, if Fornals wasn't injured, he would have played that. He would have played that role, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
And it would have suited him more. And it would have probably given us a bit more of an outlet with Antonio. Yeah. But there you go. Right. I think we're coming to. There's nothing more to say. I think it was tactical error. We defended. We can't defend. We can't go out defending against these teams all the time. We need something to sort of counter attack with. I'm talking about Moyes setting up like a virgin Scottish girl, not one big pantry. Only Anton would know about that. We don't. That's the only thing I think was a disappointment. I think we would have seen a very, very different game had Moyes decided to put Ben Rama.
I reckon we might have seen a different game. If we hadn't conceded that goal, and we got another 10, 15 minutes of them still trying to chase it, then we made them subs. It might have been different. The own goal ruined his game plan, but his game plan was to put everyone behind the ball, stifle their attack, and then try and nick something in the last 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Which isn't what the tactic should be for a top 6 team.
Exactly.
If that's what you're trying to be, that is the tactic.
And it's what someone else said. It's what someone else said earlier in the chat. This was our opportunity to show the league, everyone else.
I can't remember what podcast was it, like 90-minute podcast or something, and they were talking about us last week, and they were like, they said, "Do you want West Ham in the Champions League?" And they all went, "No," because they'll be an embarrassment to the league.
How dare they? How dare they?
But on the basis of that
I
game
haven't seen us play like that.
what can you say? Like, we're going to go to the Champions League and play all these like small, a small time team, whatever. And Moyes goes,
defensive players.
Oh, I don't know. We're playing. Oh, I don't know. I'm trying to think. Like, we're playing Applewell away. Oh, it's a hard game, guys. I'm going to put 8 men behind the ball and Antonio up front on his own. Like,
Danny makes a good point here. It's hard to watch a player like Soufal, who seems to always want to do better, no matter how much he's putting in, being led by a manager who's content with walking away with a point.
But,
you've got.
I don't mind walking away with a point, but because the point would have been a decent result. But the problem is, I knew, like for me personally, I knew going into this game day, we need to score at least 1 goal to walk away with a point. Moyes didn't set up to score 1 goal and walk away with a point.
No, he didn't.
Moyes set up for a 0-0. He went, I'm just going to put 8 men behind the ball for 90 minutes and they're not going to break us down. Which, in fairness, they didn't. But
Ed Spencer, what were your thoughts on the free kick that went short to Rice instead of in the box? Well, given our the goals that we've got from set pieces, you'd expect every ball to go in the box, wouldn't you, Matt?
Yeah.
We got a young man from Scotland on chat. Of course, I wanted a more attacking lineup. Didn't sound like it, Anton. But as someone mentioned above, if Dawson hadn't scored the own goal, we would have walked away with a point. Do you see? It's like the contentness of walking away with a point. When really what we should be looking at is how do we go out and win the game, not walk away with a point.
I mean, if that had been Fulham tonight, they'd have played better than that.
Yeah. Agreed. Moyes has an inferiority complex when it comes to Liverpool or Man United or Chelsea or Arsenal or any other team above us. There you go.
Any of the so-called big 6.
Yeah. English Yardie. I'm definitely not a fickle fan. Moyes' tactics are fickle. He doesn't believe his squad against top 6. Let's hope this summer will help him out as far as transfers coming in. But as we said, English Yardie, he'll go out and buy, 2 attack-minded players and bench them because he'll be afraid to play them. James, every year we moan about doing quite well against the so-called Big 6 and then lose against the rest. This year we're doing the opposite. Apart from the Spuds, yet we're still moaning. That is true, James. That is true.
I'm not moaning. I'm just disappointed. I'm disappointed that we didn't have some. Look, I said defensively, Moyes got his spot on. Defensively, Moyes has got his spot on this for the season. Because I don't know. Does that count as an error leading to a goal? Because we were the only team that didn't have one. I don't know if an own goal counts for that.
No, I don't know. I know.
But an own goal is an own goal. And
a goal's a goal. Doesn't matter how it goes in.
And I'm not saying a moan about it's just the fact that he had no intent of any attacking. I'm not saying all goes. He
didn't. Yeah, he had his intention was 0-0, and he would have been dead happy with that. Dead happy.
Like one more change would have been more than enough for a counter-attacking team.
Tired of being called a fickle fan when we're just asking for us to attack. Yeah,
I'm not asking for attack.
We're just asking for a counter-attack.
Yeah, exactly. Just the counter-attack. But we didn't set up for counter-attack. We set up for no attack. We set up for Antonio to win a free kick and then lump balls in the box.
Chalky, he don't let Ben Rama play freely. I think the guy was on fire when he was at Brentford. Ben Rama's not been going through the best of times, and is Moyes giving him the encouragement he needs to get better, or does he really not fancy him?
Well, I don't know. Even today, he was the ball carrier when he came on.
Yeah,
and there was a couple of times, like right at the end there, he won a corner. He got to the byline, put a box in, the ball went out for a corner, but we didn't even get a chance to take it.
Debenham Dave, I'm a big Moyes fan, but disappointed with our approach. We are better than that.
Yeah.
Anil, disappointed for today's game, but 10 massive games to go. We're sitting 5th. Everything's still in our own hand. That is very true. That is very true.
Yeah, it is.
We're not going to put up the next comment because it's just fickle and Any last thoughts, mate? Any last thoughts before we go away and drown our sorrows?
I just hope that Moyes has learned from today before we do this all again next week.
Do you think? I mean, we don't want to start talking about the Arsenal game so soon, but do you think he's going to set up in the same way, or is he going to? I mean, he's got Lingard back, hasn't he? So already it changes the whole complexion of the team. So even if he wanted to, he couldn't because he's going to have Lingard on the pitch, isn't he?
So I just hope that he's learned, like just a little bit of attacking intent. I'm not saying Man United, all out attack, but if you're going to put X man behind the ball, leave 3 guys up front, or even 2 guys up front. We didn't even have 2 guys up front. If he'd have left Bowen down the middle with him, so I just
would have been better than nothing.
Arsenal, yeah,
it is a good point from Zach. If this was a boxing match, Moyes would have just sent our man out there with one hand tied behind his back and told him to dance
for 12
rounds. All right, people, we're going to go. That's it. It's disappointing. I'm not talking about we need to put every single attack-minded player out on the pitch. I'm talking about, as you said, Matt, it was fine margins. Maybe, just that one player. With the greatest of respect to Noble, if that had been a Lanzini, a Ben Ram or whatever, we could have seen a very, very different game tonight. But there you go.
I suppose we can say credit to Moyes because we're sitting here angry, frustrated, disappointed that we went to Old Trafford and lost 1-0.
Yeah.
People that are getting mad in the chat, that's what you can say. Yeah, that Moyes has changed our mentality. From the way he's played this season, that we are like this after this game. Because last season, when we were like getting battered every week, we lost 1-0 at Old Trafford and like, get in, lads. We didn't get shipped 4 or 5 goals. So,
exactly. Right. Onwards and upwards. I've got West Ham Weekly coming up on Monday night, so do join me for that. We've got a new show which features Matt on Tuesday night, so join them for that. I've been talking to Anton about something a little different, which we'll sort of let you know about moving forward. And then we've got, when's the game? Is it Saturday or Sunday again?
Sunday again.
So it'll be a preview on Saturday. Match day live on Sunday. I promise we'll be cheerier and chirpier and all that crap
Well,
next
I'm
weekend.
not anything until I see what the team is.
So do join us. We've got quite a few shows coming up this week. Do join us. It's always a pleasure to have you.
3 o'clock game.
3 o'clock. Do I do West Ham Weekly after that? I'll let you know.
Be a long day.
Be a long day. Be a long day. So join us tomorrow night. Join us Tuesday night. We might come up with something in between. Join us next Saturday and have a good week. Sad end to the week, but there you go. Can't win them all, Matt. Can't win them all. Have a good evening, everyone.
We've won our fair share, but weren't to be today.